It is raining like crazy. The things I do to make videos, sprinting through the rain out to my car for a few minutes to talk to you guys about whether or not you should weigh your meat cooked or raw when you log it into something like myfitnesspal, so you can track your macronutrients, you know, your proteins, carbs, and fats, and calories, all that good stuff, because you want to be accurate. You want to be precise. So what is the best way? Should you weigh your proteins cooked, or should you weigh your meats raw? And let me just get this disclaimer out there. There is a giant debate about this in the fitness niche, the fitness and bodybuilding scene, if we can call it that. And people get belligerent over this. I mean, I'm talking name calling and insults up the wazoo over raw or cooked meat and how you should measure it. And let me just give you guys some background on my personal journey. When I started P90X, I did something called my 1900 calorie diet. Epic diet. And hundreds and hundreds of people have followed my diet and gotten amazing results based on the P90X fat shredder diet. Phenomenal. And I'll link to it in the description below if you want to check out my 1900 calorie diet. Basically, I give you a 7-day example of everything I eat on the fat shredder plan. So through that whole time, you know, I did that 1900 calorie diet for about 180 days. Okay? Through that whole time, I had been weighing my meat cooked, and I got phenomenal results. Okay? Right now, currently, I'm doing P90X3, and, you know, through some research and looking through the arguments and the debates about whether to weigh your meats raw or cooked, I decided to start weighing my meat raw. Now, is one more right than the other? It depends. So here's the guide you want to follow. This is sort of the rule that I'm going to lay out that you want to follow. If the package says that, oh my goodness, I just saw a drop of water come from my ceiling. Or maybe I'm seeing stuff, I don't know. Anyway, the rule you want to follow, if the package states that, you know, sometimes it'll say a serving size of like 4 ounces of chicken breast. And if it says raw, then measure it raw and record it into myfitnesspal raw. Even though when you cook it, it might only, you know, let's say you cook 3 ounces of chicken, it might come out to 3 ounces by the time it's all cooked. But you're still going to enter 4 ounces because that's what the package says as far as serving size. And some things, it'll say 4 ounces cooked is a serving size. Okay, so if the package or the packaging tells you what form the serving size is measured in, follow that when you're recording it and tracking it in something like myfitnesspal. Now, if it doesn't say, if it just says serving size 4 ounces, I always weigh the meat in the form that I purchased it. So if I purchase the meat raw, I weigh the meat raw. If I purchase the meat cooked, I weigh the meat cooked. That is a good general guideline to follow. And what I found, what's kind of nice, you know, during my 1900 calorie diet, I'd weigh out 8 ounces of cooked chicken. Well, now I weigh out 8 ounces of, you know, after my research and going through lots of debate, after what I've come up with, I cook 8 ounces of raw chicken, and it ends up, you know, being a lot less than, you know, weighing it cooked. So when I cook 8 ounces of chicken raw, it comes out to around 5.5 or 6 ounces cooked. So I'm actually using less meat, and I'm actually eating the same amount of protein, essentially. Even though I was on my 1900 calorie diet, I was probably eating a lot more. But the whole thing is, guys, is it's not that big of a deal. The important thing is that you're consistent and that you're constantly measuring and keeping track. That's where the money is. That's where you get results, is in the tracking. Okay? And not binge eating on a bag of Fritos or something. And I just can't stress enough, this argument is not that important whether or not to weigh your meat cooked or raw. I gave you guys my suggestion. I suggest follow what the package says. If it says raw, weigh it raw. If it says cooked, weigh it cooked. If it doesn't state, then weigh it in the form that you purchased it. If you purchased it raw, weigh it raw. If you purchased it cooked, weigh it cooked. That's the guideline you should be following, in my opinion. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of comments below this where people are going to say, oh, Todd, you're a bleeping idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you're not 8% body fat. Look at the bodybuilder, and all that. It doesn't, I don't care. Because honestly, I've gotten results. I've helped hundreds and thousands of people, not hundreds of thousands, but hundreds and thousands of people on my team get results based on my advice. So you can follow it, you can choose not to follow it. I just want you guys to be consistent, I want you to be precise, and I want you to track what you're eating so you can get the best results possible. So I hope this video stirred the mud a little more for you, but I hope I also gave you some good general guidelines to go by when you're weighing your meat raw or cooked, whatever your choice is. So that's it, guys. Stay lean, my friends.